Namaste, yogis. So through the month of January, we're talking about detoxing, and last week we talked about how twisting can help to cleanse your body of toxic waste. So today we're going to talk about how inversions can do the same thing. Last week when we were talking about twisting, we learned how as you twist, you can add compression to your organs to help flush your system. Inversions can do the same sort of thing, but you're adding compression in a different way. So today we're going to practice what can either be passive postures, you can turn them into a bit more active postures. We're going to start with our wall. So you don't even necessarily need a mat to go against the wall, but if you are on a hardwood floor, it's nice to have something a little bit cushy under your back. So if you have your mat, you may as well go ahead and push it up against your wall and then scoot really close to the wall and then push your legs up. And scoot your hips and your butt as close to the wall as possible. And then go ahead and lay down on your back. So our first inversion is just simply legs up the wall. So this helps to kind of get more of a blood flow up to the brain and just kind of increasing our circulation a little bit and helping to clean our sinuses out. But if you want to start to add more of the compression to our body and even kind of work on the spine a little bit more specifically, we can do something that would be called a wall-supported bridge pose. So think about when you're doing bridge on the floor, and I'm going to show this really quickly. So if you're practicing bridge on the floor, your knees would be bent, your feet to the floor, your pelvic bowl curled under, your hands flat, your shoulders pushing down, and you would inhale, rise up, and exhale, rise down, and you would start to get that waving energy through your spine and through your core. It's the same thing with your legs against the wall. Except for this time, we can get a little bit higher. So again, scoot your hips really close to the wall, pull your belly in and up, and then extend your arms to the side. If you're like me and your fingers run into the wall, maybe create fists. Otherwise, you can do your palms flat if you can get there. But think about, again, pushing your shoulder blades to the floor, drawing the navel in, and then bend your knees and push your feet flat to the wall. And again, we'll be pushing through our feet, pulling through our belly, one vertebrae at a time. We inhale, rise up to a wall-supported bridge, and on the exhale, one at a time, roll down. So do that a few times, and it actually feels really good too. It's almost kind of like a massage for your back. Kind of working through some of the kinks and the knots and things like that we get in our back from maybe sitting at a desk all day or standing or walking around and having that constant compression and weight of gravity pushing all of our vertebrae together. So maybe you decide you just want to work on this, or maybe you want to go back to even just legs up the wall. If you want to start to add more of that compression to the internal body, we can go up into our bridge. And this time, scoot your elbows and your shoulder blades a little bit closer to one another. So again, kind of curl the pelvic bowl under and push the hips in alignment with your knees. Take your hands to the low back. Again, make sure the elbows and the shoulder blades are kind of scooting in. And then we can extend one leg, maybe both legs, into a shoulder stand. And as you do a shoulder stand, you want to think about creating a straight line from your navel up toward the toes. And maybe you can even slide your hands a little further down your back. But it is very important to make sure you can easily slide 2 fingers under your neck. You don't want your neck to be pushing into the floor. You want space here to protect these vertebrae. So check that before you go into your shoulder stand, or if it feels a little uncomfortable, maybe go back to your bridge and then go back into your shoulder stand. So then from here, what we can do is we can flex our feet, pull through our belly, start to lower the legs down, but as your legs go back, your hips go toward the wall. So right now your hands are more at the center of your back or your low back, and as you push the feet behind you, your hips slide into your hands as you drop the toes behind you. So maybe the toes don't get all the way to the floor. That's okay. Maybe you're here. That's all right. If your toes can get to the floor, think about pushing through your heels and pushing your hips up. So create space between your thighs and your face or your shoulders and your chest. And then maybe you keep your hands here, maybe lace your fingers and press the arms behind you. Think about breathing in and out of your nose. You can even stretch out to the tops of your feet here, point your toes, maybe bend the knees a little bit. And then to get out of this, We'll return our hands to the low back. Again, draw the navel in and up. Maybe one leg at a time. Maybe we do both legs at a time. Return to our shoulder stand. And again, bend your knees. Drop your feet to your wall. Take your hands down. Maybe you're doing your fists. Maybe it's hands flat. And then from here, I like to end with a prop supported legs up the wall. So if you have a block, you could take a block underneath your hips when you lower down and do legs up the wall here, just giving you a bit more elevation and again, a little bit more blood flow up toward the brain. Or, if you don't have a block, you could do a pillow, or if you have an extra mat or something like that, you could even fold it in half to get a little bit more cush, Sometimes something soft feels a little bit better than a block. Maybe a rolled up blanket, a beach towel, anything really will work here. But do something that's going to give you a little bit more elevation in your hips. Let your low back soften out a little. And because after doing our plow pose, we have all this compression to our internal body, and we have this compression to our lungs, which makes it a little bit more difficult to breathe. After doing that and after supporting our hips, it's nice to open our arms out to the side. And it's really let your chest broaden and open and feel your lungs expand up toward the ceiling and collapse down, and breathe into your belly and let that collapse down. And take a few breaths here. Or you can hang out here for minutes at a time, and that's really good too. And then whenever you feel like you are ready to get out of it, again, you just bend your knees, lift, take your prop out of the way, relax all the way down, bend your knees, lift one arm, roll out onto the side, and make your way back to seated. So I hope that you practice these inversions to help you detox and cleanse your body on a more regular basis. These are great things to practice at home. All you need is a little bit of space, a little bit of wall, and maybe a pillow or a block or a towel or something like that. And you can really improve your overall health of your body, health of your spine. Again, squeeze some of those toxins out with that compression of the internal body and just feel good. So thank you so much for watching today, and I'll be catching up with you soon. Namaste.